Welcome back. We are doing the third and final session of Trophy Gold for Eberron, the Escape from Atur. Um, let's check in with our hunters really quickly. Uh, again, the way Trophy Gold works is the hunters have a burden score. We've kind of let this sit in the background, but because this is the final session, we need to talk about it for a little bit. You have a burden score, usually tied to the amount of equipment you have. Um, that is the amount of gold that you must spend when the incursion ends. If you fail to meet your burden score, your hunter is retired in poverty and destitution. They will cease to be a treasure hunter, cease to be a playable character, cease to be important to our story. So you want to at least meet your burdens. Ideally, you want to exceed your burdens because everything past that can go into your hoard. And when you get 50 gold accumulated in your hoard, you get the good ending. You realize your drive. You get to narrate a fun scene about how you do the thing that it is that your drive sets you out and wanting to do. So that's always good. So even if you meet your burdens, always good to go looking for more treasure. The way you get treasure is by hunt tokens. Hunt tokens are a thing you get by hunt rolls, which you get by asking questions about the world or doing a search in various areas or in various ways. The specific text is on the reference tab, so feel free to check that when you want to. But let's just do a little quick check down about who's got what. Tuvo, you've got 5 burdens. You have 2 items, one left over from our previous incursion. That's worth 1 gold, and you have a cloak of billowing worth 1 gold, and you have 1 hunt token. You also have a couple conditions. You are beloved, and you are hated by Arrowhead. So hopefully that'll come into play tonight. Asta, you've got 4 burdens. You have no gold. You lost your hunt tokens. You have currently the phylactery, which is worth 10 gold, but that's assumedly going to be split between the rest of the party. But even then, even if we split it 4 ways, you're going to get 3 gold at best out of that. So you definitely need to go finding some treasure, I think. You also have a couple of conditions. The phylactery is bonded to you. We haven't really explored that terribly much. Maybe we'll get more into that tonight. You are battered and bruised, and you're nauseated. So Asta's not looking or feeling great right now. Liana, you only have 3 burdens, so pretty easy to meet those. You do have 2 hunt tokens, meaning between the phylactery getting split and your hunt tokens, if you exchange those for treasure, you'd be doing great. You'll be able to continue on, keep looking for treasure. You do also have a feather token. It's very useful, particularly in this incursion, but can also be sold for 1 gold. And a mysterious green orb that we haven't set a price for because you don't really know what it is or what it does yet. Hard to sell something that you don't know what you have. Assumedly, it's probably worth some money, but we don't really know. Maybe it's not. You also have a couple conditions marked by Prisciani. That's the Thorani, the headmistress of Heathertop House. You are also battered and bruised from a escape with the ducal guards, and you have a bleeding wound as well. We should probably get that tended to at some point.
Probably.
And then we come to Vaunn, who has 3 burdens, no hunt tokens, couple pieces of treasure, a Karnathi war medal worth 1 gold, a sealed scroll that you should deliver, but that's going to be in court. That's not going to happen in this incursion. You could still lose it though, so good thing to hold on to. And then Arrowhead is just chilling with you. You can sell him off for 2 gold, or it can be used as a piece of equipment, just like stuff in your backpack. You have no conditions. However, I'm going to give you one now. You have been marked by Rahani. That's Rhanni. I'll type that in.
I definitely thought that she thought that I was dead because I pretended to fall.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and wave off on that for now. She might come back later because she didn't actually see your dead body. Then she'll be super extra pissed.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, then we'll jump that hurdle when we get to it.
I'm
But for
excited.
now, you have evaded your ex, who also happens to have the same lycanthropic curse as you. And then just kind of a really quick recap. Last episode, our party split, the terrible splitting of the party. Vaunn, you were running across the rooftops in Climber's Rest above ground. You encountered a warforged practicing her religion secretly on a rooftop shrine, very hard to see. She gave you that sealed missive, instructed you to take it to court. She's very trusting for somebody that you met for all of 10 seconds. Um, and then yeah, you got spotted by a shifter bounty hunter, another former opportunistic grave robber who got cursed the same way you have. And there's definitely some history there. She tried killing you. Let's not mince words about that. But you did escape and made it over towards the Crimson Monastery, which is where the sort of everybody is moving in the general direction of. Meanwhile, Tuvo asked Liana, you all went down into the sewers and wound up in one of Atur's undercities, or the undercity of Atur. Also were pursued by a shifter bounty hunter, but had a lovely little diversion down there. Lyra is with you. She's one of the escaped students from the Heathertop house and Tuvo's childhood friend. You managed to find your way to a scaffolding on one of the great stone pillars holding up the city above, and found a service hatch top of it, and found your way back up out to the Crimson Monastery, the grounds thereof. So the way I want to start this session is I want us to take a look through Vaughn's eyes. Vaunn is still kind of up a few stories above ground level and has a better view than the folks who are coming out of a service hatch from underground. One of the cool things about Eberron is billboards. And so I want to do a little paint the scene really quickly. Not so much in the Crimson Monastery, but in the section of town you're about to leave, there are giant illusions, maintained illusions that people can see from ground level. But because you have this unique view, I want to know from everyone, what is a product or service being advertised on some of these giant illusory billboards in the commercial district of Atur? Anybody can answer in any order.
I'm thinking about a character that I played in an Eberron game. She was a gnome that was a conspiracy theorist and had her own newspaper. And I think that she's probably started putting up billboards for her newspaper, which is called the Corvair Conspiracist. um, and her latest theory is that there's a fourth progenitor dragon that nobody ever talks about. Billboard's probably got a picture of her smiling face holding up a copy of her newspaper.
I mean, sold. Like that's good advertising. I would like to read that.
I mean, like G Noma Jameson is just like classic Eberron. I love it.
Yeah,
Jameson with the G.
that's right.
Um, the first thing that comes to my mind is air freshener, just like air freshener for your home. Make it not smell like undead in there. Um,
There's a Thorani billboard that has this gothic looking instrument, and it says, "Make it sing like a banshee, Thorani brand harp wax."
Love it. Tying it back. Right.
I hate you, Jared. But I love the callback.
Oh. Um, it's like an inspirational billboard with like a really, really happy, inspiring looking zombie, and it says you matter.
Zombie lives matter. Yep.
Amazing. Zombie billboard, you matter. Like you matter or your body matters?
You know, it doesn't explain that on the billboard.
Fantastic. Um, Wonderful. So, Vaunn, I think you will actually see there's a wall, almost even like a sort of not quite a natural cliff face, but definitely a physical barrier between the district where the Crimson Monastery is resided, along with most of the practicing blood of Vol. It's the Vatican. It's Vatican City. There's a physical barrier dividing the rest of Atur from this district. I don't think it's going to require a roll, but just how do you get across the street?
It's a pretty wide gap from whatever building I'm standing on to the
I
wall.
think so. Yeah, I think you're gonna have to jump. Like, if it would be a jump, it would be like 2 full cart lengths side by side. It's a major thoroughfare.
Is there any like a one of those cranes that he could run up and then jump from like halfway across and go down further?
Just for fun, give me a hunt roll. And do you think you have any skills or abilities that would help you either identify or look for something or make a jump or anything about traversing the district barrier?
Really, persistence doesn't like really. I can't use that for everything. Well, I'm looking, so I'm persisting.
Yeah, absolutely. You only have 4 skills, so by all means, like leverage the ones that you have.
Like strength, I guess would go into the jump. So maybe looking for something to climb up higher to jump down instead of having to jump across.
Absolutely. Yeah. Feel free to, leverage your skills. I'm all about you guys leveraging your skills to shape narrative. So absolutely. I think between persistence and strength, you get your second hunt die. So give me a 2 die hunt roll, please.
Five and 1.
Fantastic. So hunt rolls are take highest of, so that's a 5. Give yourself a hunt token. But you encounter something terrible. And so I think as you land and come across and you see the grand splendor of the Crimson Monastery. I'm going to call it the Basilica at least once during the session. It's the Crimson Monastery. Just keep that in mind. The billboards, all of them, one by one, start to click off. And when they come back on, you see your face, Liana's face, Asta's face, Tuvo's face. Big, giant, wanted, like, this is beyond wanted poster. This is wanted billboards. And the image of your face is possibly not kind. Artist's rendition based off of somebody who they hacked the memory of, possibly. But yeah, that's your something terrible.
He's regretting that he didn't steal some laundry off of a line before he jumped across. He can't go back now. Just to kind of like make a cloak with a hood or something, a makeshift hood.
I mean, you are about to be in like one of the major seats of an Eberronian religion. I'm sure there are robes and hoods to be found there.
Okay,
but
great.
For the meantime, I will say that just for narrative convenience, you do also look down just as the service hatch is opening up, and out pops Tuvo's head, and shortly behind him is Asta, Liana, and Lyra, coming out of this sort of maintenance service hatch that, again, very, very, very out of the way. People don't like their maintenance areas being visible, so it's wedged between two buildings and like what can't even be constituted as an alleyway. There might be like two benches kind of overgrown with ivy and creepers nearby. It's sort of a break room. There's some discarded cans of whatever an Eberron passes for portable towel or something. But you can see them because you have a very unique perspective on the world, because that's what you get when you're on the rooftops. And I know Lyra, when she pops up, she immediately takes a few steps towards the monastery, like peeking out from this little cover that you guys sort of naturally have between some of the buildings. And she is absolutely just in utter jaw-dropping awe. And she looks back at Tuvo and she's like, I've never seen it this close before. Do you know how many nights that I've sat there? I mean, I showed you the spot where I like to sit. You can see it perfectly from there, but years and years and years, I've never seen it this close.
Tuvo's looking at his own face on a billboard, so he's only half listening. So, like, it's not the worst.
Are you listening to me? Look. Come, take a look.
Yes.
I think as she pulls you over to the cover, to the sort of like opening where you can get a good look of the Crimson Monastery, a patrol of guards goes marching, not marching, like chunk, doing that sort of like marchy jog. Like a whole platoon of like 10 of them, 5 of them, 2 by 2, with a captain in front, just goes, running along, halberds in hand. You have to duck back for cover really quickly. Liana, you're bleeding. What are you up to?
Bleeding silently. Probably also looking at a picture of herself on the billboard, and I'm taking that there's no picture of Lyra on any of the billboards.
No, there is not.
So they haven't worked out that she's with us yet, which means that they're probably haven't gotten onto our trail as of yet.
Sounds logical.
That's at least
whoever's memories they grabbed our pictures from was at the Duke's residence and not further on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so
in fact,
they might know she's with us by now, but
in fact, like it's not just your portrait police style. It's probably like 3/4, and like you're in whatever you were dressed in for the shindig. Which, are you all still dressed in shindig? I mean, Asta was a guard, so she can still be in her guard drags. But are you all still like dressed in your shindig threads?
Yes, we definitely had time to stop and change at any point.
You could have. I mean, we haven't tracked you like every single minute of the way. Like this whole process, it's the middle of the night at this point. Well, it's a probably hour or two before midnight. All the moons that are in the sky are very very high in the sky. You could have had some time. You also could have done the pulpy thing of like do the tear along the dress, give yourself a little more leg room to run. I don't know how that works.
I think Tuvo could have grabbed something as he crashed through the guest room of the guy we stole the falcon from.
Okay, yeah.
And Liana's wearing one of those robes, the torn robe that she stole from
that's right. You have a Heathertop
house.
I think I was talking at one point about Vaunn losing his shirt, and I don't remember exactly. So I think he's at least doesn't have the same shirt on that he did before.
Shifters just have trouble with clothing in the first place. So, I mean, we can safely assume you've, when you hulked out to face the ducal guards, you're probably, you're probably, could use another change, maybe. But I feel like they would make clothing that would work around that. I don't know. I'm not going to think too deeply on it. In any case, let's talk about the Crimson Monastery really quickly. The Crimson Monastery is the district itself is full of sprawling Baroque cathedral architecture, very Gothic. The monastery itself is a tiered ziggurat of appropriately named crimson stone, very unique to Eberron. Not many buildings made out of it. Some of the other buildings in the district probably are, but obviously the grand feature is the ziggurat itself. But crowning the ziggurat are also the sort of flying buttresses that you see in a lot of Gothic architecture, non-structural, purely aesthetic, but they give the ziggurat this sort of menacing crown sort of appearance to it. So there are a lot of angles, a lot of archways. There are also just old architecture, things that look like they could have been aqueducts. There are walkways, ladders, arches. There's this sort of tiered maze going on. There are also stairways going up. There are plateaus and platforms. Some of the buildings look that they were actually built into the natural stonework, as if this place was almost built into sort of a crater, or that walls were built up around it. At this time of night, there is a constant drone of chanting from the chapels and holy sites and spaces. And in fact, you get the sense that there's a lot of buzz going on. Atur is a city that comes alive at night. And I even want to actually say this is a festival night. Last time we ran this, there was in fact a parade or a procession going on, but I still think that the sheer number of people who are practicing right now means that you can't actually hear the chanting. But if you stand still for too long in one place, or if you put your hand on a wall, you can actually feel a very faint reverberation from just the amount of chanting going on. It is felt more than it is actually heard. Yeah, I'll leave it there for now. But what do you guys want to do? Oh, I should give you the set goal. The set goal is defeat the Stone Guardian. Mixed into a lot of the stonework, there are it's almost like a sculpture garden. In the columns of some of the buttresses, on the sides of some of the walls, or where gargoyles in our world would be, but because this is Eberron, they're not exactly gargoyles, but you see these very lifelike statues of people from all walks of life, from poor to from pauper to prince. And some of them are even standing alone. This is something where you're at on the backside of the monastery, I feel like, the more hidden side. There are some of these statues just standing alone and idle. And in fact, not far from where you are, across the courtyard, you can see a stonemason's workstation. You have to go up maybe like a level or two of some of these plateaus. And then as well, on top of all of these, actually, I'm going to hold on to that for a second. I'll just leave it there for now. There are every now and then there are guard patrols walking around. Every now and then you see some of the seekers of the divinity within, sort of meandering about in packs of 4 or 5, just kind of milling about the district. Although the guards are definitely running about with purpose, you are actively being searched for.
Then coming out of this hatch, we probably first notice the billboards, and then the guards, and then this awesome Crimson Monastery, and finally we see Vaunn sort of way up there. And Liana's like, "Oh, well, that's fortuitous. I think we need to get up, back onto the ruse. So how about we go reconvene with Vaunn up there?" And she'll start sort of trying to come out of the hatch and climb up the side of this ziggurat, which I kind of see as like a giant staircase sort of thing.
Yeah, if you want to look around for a way up, I think that would be a hunt roll.
Yeah, okay.
Unless you want to use your door ritual to just get up there, but that's going to be a dark die risk roll. I'll let you if you want.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't used it. So
then
yeah.
Let's alter this actually, because hunt rolls are great and fantastic and fun. Go ahead and give me a hunt roll. Do you have any skills or abilities that would help you find a surface? Because you're going to try and create a portal, and I imagine this is very much like Portal the game. You need to find a surface that you need to come out on.
Maybe crafting.
Sure, I'll buy it for $1. Yeah. Go ahead and give me a 2-die hunt roll.
Okay. 5.
So you get a token. Go ahead and give that to yourself. Also, again, just a reminder, you can spend hunt tokens 1-to-1 to receive a piece of treasure. You can also spend 3 of them individually or collectively as a group to realize the set goal. You can do that anytime you like. You do either of those really anytime you like. And if you get a 1 on a hunt roll, you lose all of your hunt tokens and encounter something terrible. So just leave that there. And I think you find not necessarily the spot where Vaunn is sort of gargoyle perching himself, but there is some place over actually, like a couple tiers up, that you see that you can get an exit portal done if you draw it here. It matches the material, or it's close enough, or it's whatever you specifically need to get that done. I owe you something terrible, however. Let me go.
If we're picturing it like the game Portal, then I imagine it's like it conserves momentum too. So if you go in really fast to the portal, then you come out really fast.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to try drawing like the portal on the ground?
No, I was thinking more that, I imagine the side of this ziggurat is quite steep. So if we don't judge our speed just right, then we come out too fast and we maybe go over the edge or close to the edge. So maybe that's the something terrible, is that I have to judge the speed.
I love it. Yeah, you have to really kind of get it just right. So you are casting the door ritual.
Yep.
Fantastic. All right, we're moving straight into a risk roll then. So what you hope happens then is you correctly set this ritual, this pathway up to where it's safe to pass through and not break a leg. Sound about right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Player. Oh, well, first let me ask, do you have skill or piece of equipment that would help you in this endeavor? Again, I think crafting is just the easy one.
Yep.
Cool. So crafting, that works. You get your first light die. Table, what could go wrong here if it is not done correctly?
They fall off the side. Whoever goes through has to roll to keep from falling down the side of the ziggurat.
Yeah. Yeah, the first person through definitely is gonna take a tumble.
The door could close before everyone is through.
Ooh, separate the party again. Yeah, absolutely.
No.
The ritual draws the attention of some of the guards.
Fantastic.
Right there on the edge. Thank you very much. Did you turn off?
Fantastic. Yeah, I'll something in there will happen if or some conglomeration of all of those will happen if you do not roll well. Okay, so let's talk devil's bargains. Devil's bargains again, quick reminder, they happen no matter what, regardless of success or failure, and they cannot negate the success, but they are narrative complications. You can also pull on what can go wrong. So like as a devil's bargain, I will say I could offer that the door will close before everyone gets through.
Or that it uses the last reserves in the wand that I have to draw the door, and so I can't use it again.
It's fantastic. Normally you're not allowed to offer your own devil's bargains, but that's just such a classic and easy one that, you know, I'll let it fly. Yeah, you would basically mechanically not be able to use door for the rest of the incursion.
Let's see, we still have the tarot reading.
Oh, we do.
And I could tie one to perspective, that no matter what, we think we're coming out the right way, but we're actually going to be coming out falling. So it's the exit portal isn't oriented correctly somewhere.
You could be seen by someone, some monks or something.
Yeah. All fantastic devil's bargains.
Yeah. All right. Which one to choose?
I'm going to amend Jared slightly because, again, we don't want to negate the success, but I will say that because you were affected by that tarot reading, you will be hovering above ground. Everybody else can get through safe if you succeed on the roll, but no matter what, you are going to have to follow up with something.
I was thinking that too, and I kind of like that one. Yeah, and what I'm thinking is that maybe as she pulls out her wand and she's trying to draw this door, I imagine that Liana would probably be the first one through, just to check that it's safe or whatever. Maybe she uses too much power, and so the first person through ends up going through at like too high of a speed and starts falling, but then the others would be safe. So yeah, I think I'll go with that one.
All right. Okay, so that means you get 2 light die. This is a ritual. You are casting it pretty well. In Trophy Gold, all of ritual rolls are supposed to have a dark die. So go ahead and give me 2 light, 1 dark.
All right.
Risk roll is what we're looking for.
Yep. Oh, okay.
That's fantastic. 6 light means it goes off without a hitch. Your ruin does not go up. So yeah, just narrate what this looks like for everybody.
She's Vaunn up there and she's like trying to figure out how to maybe climb the cigarette. She goes, no, I'm done with climbing. Let's do something. Yeah, let's do something easier. I've got this. She pulls out this wand, and I imagine it's like letting off like kind of sparks, you know, like it's not the best functioning wand that you've ever seen in your lives. It's probably a little bit bent. It's like Ron Weasley's wand from the second Harry Potter book. And then she kind of spies where she wants to come out, and she's sort of like looking at it. She's all right, here we go. Sticks her tongue out, focusing, draws a big circle on a surface, but there's like sparks coming off, and this circle that she draws, kind of faintly outlined in a blue light, is kind of flickering a little bit. And she's like, all right, I'll go first. You guys follow. Trust me. I promise you, it's totally safe. It's fine. She goes running through, absorbs all this extra power from this sort of malfunctioning door, and then just comes flying out from the other portal, like way faster than what she went in, and she just loses her footing and starts falling down the side of the ziggurat.
Amazing. Thank you. And then everybody else passes through. So you're now falling down the side of a ziggurat, which hell of a perspective. You are already battered and bruised.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, I would give you that as a condition, and you have a bleeding wound.
I think I'm going to invoke my feather token.
Okay, absolutely. That would save me from having to make you make another risk roll and going through that whole process again. So yes, absolutely. You can go ahead and just either erase that or mark it. Nobody's going to buy a used feather token.
Yeah. I'll just erase it. So she starts falling and she's like, oh crap, and just starts ruffling through these torn robes, pockets, and she finds the token. She goes, oh, this, yes. Whatever she needs to do to invoke it, she just sort of stops and starts sort of drifting down until she can get her feet.
Yes. Everybody else, you step out of this portal. Vaunn, I think the portal is drawn in such a way that it's not hard for you to also pass through it. But hey, we have a reunion. Well, Liana is now probably down like a full level of the ziggurat, so like a full 2 to 4 stories on the tier below you. And there are more of those statues just around. Also, no, never mind that. Let's just have that scene. You guys are reunited. Vaunn, Asta, Tuvo, Lyra.
So
you
yeah,
didn't
Tuvo's
die.
so far. What, you all right?
I didn't die either. So
I'm gonna offer Vaunn a high five.
You look like your trip smelled better than ours.
Yeah, you all stink. We should find something to make sure that you don't attract any attention that way.
Well, maybe there's something up here. Oh, we're missing somebody.
Oh, she's fine. She's down there. She's not dead.
Also
we've been doing a great job not dying.
I'd like to keep that up.
Yeah. Should get that phylactery off her hand, otherwise she might die. And then we won't get paid, and like he's thinking he doesn't know which is worse, but he doesn't know if he should say that out loud. Because they had that whole thing there where their hands touched, and that was kind of that was one of the things of all time. So he's not sure if he should vocalize that.
It's not whispering as much right now as it was earlier. I think.
Is that good or bad?
For this place, could go either way. We're kind of standing on a giant necromancy beacon, so
yeah,
we might be able to take care of it while we're here.
It'll hide that, so we're better off.
Yeah. Right? Like, yeah. No, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Do we need? Oh wait, someone does have rope. Like, do we need like? Does anyone have any rope or something to like maybe get?
I was just thinking that's a good idea. Also, I don't trust these statues. They're creeping me out.
I think they're kind of pretty.
I think I could probably take them, but
you hear a call from below, a little bit faintly. I've got rope.
that doesn't help us.
Can
now.
You throw? Can you throw it up? No. We'll hold on to it. Okay.
I'm not that strong. Can someone come down and get me, please?
That defeats the whole purpose of us using a door.
All right. I'm
I
gonna look
know.
through my bag
I'm sorry.
and find some rope.
Okay. I'm not gonna make you roll for that. Yeah, eventually you do. You get some rope down. You pull Liara up. Liana. You pull Liana up. Back up to your level. What do you do now? You guys are all here. You do have to. From here, you can actually see that there is a sort of method to this madness. I don't know if it would be quote unquote sacred geometry or whatever it is, but there's something subliminal that speaks to you about like the way that the buttresses are pointed, the way that the statues are facing. Everything seems to lead towards a courtyard nearby. You can bridge right across it. It'd be an archway if you were back down on the ground floor, but there's a neat little walkway across. And there in the middle of this courtyard of this sculpture garden is what looks like a 15-foot tall stone egg.
I don't think that would fit in my pack.
I don't think so either.
But it's kind of worth checking out. I mean, the architecture is beautiful.
Is it, or is it a trap and it's gonna hatch and then we'll get eaten?
Maybe it's gonna hatch and there's gonna be stuff in it.
Maybe. But I mean, did you see these statues and the buttresses? I like big buttresses, and I cannot lie.
I mean, we like a man who's truthful.
It's pretty. What else are we gonna do? Just keep going to the top, and then what?
Well, we need to find a bath. You all stink.
That is true. And
maybe like she's really bleeding a lot. Is that normal? Is that normal?
Like red stuff coming out of my body? Yeah. I mean, it's happened before. Oh, hang on, wait. Let me try and fix that. I'll take off my torn robe and just tear it up and see if I can bind the bleeding.
I've got bandages, you know.
Oh, really?
I've had bandages this whole time. Do you want me to take care of that?
Yes, please.
Maybe we should wash first, and then because there's some slime there too, and bandages and slime and blood.
Yeah,
maybe
I mean,
the courtyard's got a fountain.
Yeah. If you want to look around for a fountain, somebody's got to go looking for it.
All right.
Who's gonna go
I
looking?
have already rolled once today, so if somebody else wants to look for Asta should look for a fountain.
Yeah, I can say I can look for the fountain.
Asta's gonna look for the fountain. Fantastic. Do you have any skills or equipment that would help you find a cleaning? Because the whole goal here is you're looking for something to clean Liana's wound, right?
Right. Maybe protection.
I'll buy it. Yeah, sure. Go ahead and give me a hunt roll 2 die. You simply get a token. You do not find you do not encounter something terrible. So yeah, the stonecrafter tent that I mentioned is there kind of off to the side, and let me see if I can pull up more information on that. Yeah, stonemason's workstation actually has a cleansing stone. Let's go ahead and stay that there to either clean the tools, or the person who, the stonemason himself or herself, might want to wash their hands after their work. or maybe it's a spiritual thing. They feel that they need to purify themselves when working with stone. It's all weird and awkward because this is a very religious place. But yes, the stonemason's tent does have, among probably other things, hammer, chisel, other stonemason's tools, flatbed cart for moving heavy loads. Also, Asta, since you're the one looking there, the stonemason's workstation has a sturdy two-handed sledgehammer, as well as a set of artisan's stoneworking tools. It is worth 1 gold. You can just simply add that to your equipment for looking there.
All right. Cute.
Wolf's got a hammer. Things about to get real.
Yeah, little dwarf with a sledgehammer. I feel like the sledgehammer could even be a piece of combat equipment if you wanted it to be. But your halberd's also pretty cool. So yeah, I think it from there, like, we don't need to role play that out. You clean Liana's wounds. Liana, change bleeding wound to bandaged wound. It's still a condition. It's still there. It's still going to be a problem, but at least you won't die from bleeding out. Anybody else have any place they want to search while you're here? Again, you're doing pretty good. You got some hunt rolls. Nothing terrible encountered yet.
Yeah, just looking. Tuva wants to look at some of the statuary, see what's up with that before we get close to the egg.
Is there any other statuary pointing at anything else that we can see in the vicinity, or is everything that's around here pointing to that?
Both of you can go ahead and, you can give me hunt rolls. Let's tackle these kind of in order. Tuvo, you have appraisal. Give me a 2-die hunt roll. Vaunn, do you have a skill or a piece of equipment that would help you?
So his particular idea is that if this is going to hurt them, he's down to break some stuff. So destruction.
Sure, I'll buy it. Why not? It's the last session. Give me a 2-die hunt roll.
Oh no.
Oh, what happened? What happened?
Everybody, we both rolled a 3 high. So
Wait,
actually, for some reason, I only rolled 1.
Yeah, just roll a second hunt die.
A 3 and a 2 for
higher.
Jared, and a 3 and a 1 for me.
Okay. So neither of you get hunt tokens. You both encounter something terrible. I think. Give me a second. Because I have some ideas. Tuvo, you're something terrible is that Lyra's gonna have wandered off. She's super infatuated about all of actually, it's not that she's wandered off. She's really infatuated by the egg statue.
The infatuation levels are like, Tuvo's down here, the egg is like up here.
Listen, so she's led a very sheltered life.
Okay.
Egg statues are fascinating. I don't know.
Sure.
Vaunn, your something terrible is that as you are sort of like investigating these statues, and I think in order for your skill to apply, you're literally like gonna like break something.
Yeah, I gotta break something, or turn one in the opposite direction and see if anything changes.
Yeah, you gotta test, because what if these are people? Like, what if
they spring to life and attack us?
Absolutely. That would be, you gotta make sure. It's the old like double tap, right? So yeah, like you just twist the head off of one of these statues or something crazy like that.
This isn't blasphemous at all.
Oh no, not at all. And in fact, like what you don't see is you hear a voice first, masculine voice. And he says, I would appreciate it if you didn't just destroy everything that you touch. And emerging from the Crimson Monastery, whatever the nearest door is, or now you see him, he emerges from a shadow. This is Eberron, so it's actually quite bright at night in open exposed areas, but there's still shadows, there's still clouds and stuff. But you see a man about human-ish size, black craftsman's apron. His arms are exposed, they're very green. And in this kind of light, you can actually see that there are scales running along them. He's already close enough to you that you can smell that he smells strongly of worked earth and myrrh. And all of the snakes on the top of his head are regarding you equally.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just wanted to see how it worked.
So Kevin, I just want to clarify. You're saying it's a Medusa?
It's a Medusa, yeah, absolutely.
I've been fine with every other piece of Jared's shit this game. That one, I'm out. I have to lay down.
This isn't D&D actually, so it is a Gorgon. I'm not going to deal with Ernie Gygax's bullshit. Just because they've been wrong for 20 years doesn't mean we have to be.
Yeah.
So there. But yes, this Gorgon Stonecrafter, he has a blindfold tied over his eyes. But you can reckon he probably can still see relatively well so long as all the snakes are pointed in the same direction. But he walks up near you, and as he takes the arm of the statue that you murdered, he just kind of touches the arm gently with both of his hands, and as he does, the stone molds in his grasp as though it were clay. When you touched it, it was stone. It was marble. It was hard and rigid, and it broke the way that you would fully expect stone to do. But just at a simple touch from the stone crafter, and like the arm moves as if it were a person, and he says, stone shaping takes time. You can move an arm here, turn a face there, but people are looking at corners of lips, creases in eyes. And he picks up the head and puts it back on and sort of like smooths the neck back into place. That is where stories get told. Why would someone stand that way or grab someone there or look in that direction? He turns and looks at you. Well, the snakes all kind of look at you again. I think beauty lives in the space between the what and the why. The story. Stories, they're like stonework. They take time.
Did these used to be people? She's asking him.
Some of them. Some of them were people, yes. He's walking now towards the Stonecrafters station.
And did you turn them to stone, or were they already like that? Did you find them like that?
I turned them to stone.
Right. Right, cool. She turns to Astus. I'm fucking terrified right now. What should we do?
And I guess looking, is there any like good quick escape, like or a good way out? Because I probably have like his sledgehammer like strapped to my back right now.
You could start running, but it would be a blind run through a heavily populated district at this time of city, what is
Okay.
basically midday, in the middle of a church service that is so many people practicing that the floor beneath your feet is literally reverberating. You can run.
This kind of sounds awesome though.
He's going to start walking towards the statue, the giant egg, and he's going to say, many of these are not real. They are simply from my imagination. They're taken from ideas that I've had about some of our greatest teachers. The blood of Vaunn doesn't have saints, you say. We don't worship, we study, we observe. Some of our greatest teachers I have decided to keep here. Some of them may have their teachings revealed to us at a later time. But this is my greatest creation. And he walks up to the egg statue.
Who says to Asta, I don't remember any seekers coming from an egg. This is not going to go well.
Well, then that means there's not going to be seekers that come get us, right? But out of the egg, it's not like full of seekers that are going to get us.
I'm thinking I'm going to pull out my mystery scroll and just start reading it. It feels like a desperate situation. I'm going to do something stupid.
Okay. You will find. First of all, the reward for it is now void. But what you will find. How fast are you at reading? Spontaneity, I guess.
Yeah.
You will actually find that Lapis, the name of the Warforged who gave. Wait.
No. This is something that was in Liana's like equipment in her scroll tube mystery scroll. It says, Vaughn's the one that has the note from Lapis.
Oh, your scroll tube mystery scroll. Oh, your piece of equipment. I never knew that you had a piece of equipment. Okay, well, belay everything I just said. Good thing you stopped me before I gave you away plot.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I literally did not know that was a piece of equipment.
Do we just roll on it and see what I get?
Give me a hunt roll. 2 light die because it technically counts as a piece of equipment.
Okay, hunt roll, 2 light die.
Please also, you have, I was about to say,
I've got 3 tokens.
You'd have to get snake eyes, but
yeah, which is possible.
It's possible.
Okay.
So you don't lose your hunt tokens, but you do encounter something terrible. That's 3 and 3. But so the cool thing with hunt rolls is that regardless of success or failure, that like it's not a success or failure, you still get the thing that you objectively would have gotten, but it is something sort of like a perception check. But I just make the world a little bit worse as a result. Your mystery scroll, what could it be?
Maybe it makes reduce the Gorgon bigger.
No, the
egg bigger.
No, the Gorgon's not really going to be a terrible threat. But because you encounter something terrible and don't get a hunt token, I'm going to say it's a scroll of acid spray. And it goes spraying out towards or onto the floor, the statue, and it starts to burn. And as the corrosion begins to take place, the egg shell begins to burn and wither away.
Just made it worse. I made things worse. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Out of the fire and into the fire.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, technically this is leading to the set goal anyways. So, I'm just conspiring to make this happen faster and more excitingly. So the stonemason cries out in horror, no, she's not ready yet. She's not ready for the world. My darling, my love, my ill marrow.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Oh.
Uh-oh.
What you're looking at is not an eggshell. It is in fact closed wings. And as the name Ilmarrow is spoken, the right one unfolds and the left one unfolds, and you are looking at a 15-foot tall artist's interpretation of Lady Ilmarrow. So not like a 19-year-old or whatever Arandis Vol would really be. This is what this Medusa, this Gorgon stonecrafter imagines her to be as people have talked about her. So she is still half elven, half draconic, a lich, so her face has kind of skeletal features. She might even have like a bit of ribs showing. Her hands are more claw-like than they are human type.
Where's Lyra?
She has been thrown. She gets flung aside by one of the wings, and is probably laying in a crumpled heap.
I definitely made things worse. I'm sorry.
This is going to be a combat.
Oh god.
The Stone Guardian is endurance 10. I will tell you now that she has an ability called Stone Skin. Bladed weapons that would normally slash or pierce just score her surface, but will otherwise not harm her. So bear that in mind with what is about to come up, because I'm going to start asking, somebody needs to participate in this combat. As many of you want to participate in this combat can, and thus can contribute to at least the first dice pool. But
I'm down.
okay.
Yeah,
I have a bludgeoning weapon.
Yeah.
I have one now.
Does everyone have a bludgeoning weapon?
No.
I have a bolus. I will trip her over.
He can be the head.
Yeah, Tuvo, you cannot participate in this combat. Well, you can. Well, I don't know how that would work. You just can't.
Take the hammer from Asta.
Well, Asto then would have the Guardian's Halberd, which is a slashing and piercing weapon. So Asta has a weapon. Liana, I'll say the bolas are bludgeoning enough for this purpose. And Vaunn has a warhammer, which usually is more piercing, but I'll say you can turn it around and use the hammer end for some bludgeon. And Lyra is currently in a crumpled heap. So Tuvo, you are out at least this first round.
Okay.
You can use this first turn if you want to go look for something to try and do some damage if you want to join on the second round, or you can hide like a coward. I'll leave that to you. The three people who are participating, please roll a weak die and let me know how you're being vulnerable, or how you are vulnerable in this combat, in any order that you like.
5.
2 5 weak points.
4.
And a 4.
Liana
and Vaunn at 5. Asta at 4. Yes.
I mean, I think we're all vulnerable because we're fighting a stone lich.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think he's just very intimidated by he wasn't expecting it, and it just sort of like rose out of the ground, and like he was expecting something, but he wasn't expecting this, so it's just surprise.
I mean,
Okay.
Liana's terrified. She's peeing her pants right now.
I'm going with the opposite. That the Asta is here to kick ass, but she like isn't really thinking very well about how to do that, and might think she's a little less a little less vulnerable than she actually is.
Overconfidence can be a slow and insidious killer, so I've been told. Also, I will tell you another special rule about this fight: you cannot run. This fight cannot be resolved as a chase scene. So
I don't know how we would.
Yeah.
I'll also tell you that the way that this monster fights is she actually moves. She does not walk. She is part of the plateau that you are on. If you try to escape, she will literally melt into the ground, emerge from it, and strike with her claws or wings or whatever it is that
Cool,
she
we're fucked. I'm good.
that she has.
Excited.
So because you guys narrate, but somebody is there anybody who wants to volunteer for the first combat roll?
I'm excited. I'm excited to fight. I'm down.
Okay. Asta, I'll give you the second one. Assuming you don't kill her. Again, endurance 10. Vaunn, go ahead and give me a combat 3 roll, please.
I rolled my weak die.
Jesus Christ.
But the monster is defeated if its endurance is 11 or less. Because I rolled a 6, a 5, and a 2.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that GM feeling. I know that feeling. When you create a super cool monster and then they defeat it in the first round
I'm very
of combat.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's fine. No, we're all cool. There's plenty of things to throw at you for the rest of the session. So let's do this. Asta, I'm gonna give you the how do you want to do this? Let's do Liana, then Vaunn, then Asta. Each of you, Liana, kick us off for like how does this fight start? How does it? Oh, well, also, sorry, pump the brakes. We have a 5 on the table, which means Liana and Vaunn, you can either mark armor if you have armor to mark. So Vaunn, you're taking a ruin. No matter what.
I can mark my armor. Wait.
No, you marked it in the fight against in the run against did you mark your armor?
I mean, it's checked.
Yeah, in the chase scene against Ronnie.
I don't remember, but it's marked. And
okay, I know somebody marked their armor because I marked it for them. I imagine it was I'm pretty sure it was you because I remember going back and listening to the recording.
Okay.
Liana, you didn't mark in your chase scene against the other shifter, right? It was because I remember the description of like the ringmail shirt just getting like torn and like shredded. So yeah, Vaunn, you were taking a ruin. Your ruin's going to increase by 1. Liana, you can either mark your armor, your amulet of protection, or you can increase your ruin by 1.
I'll mark armor.
Okay. So Liana, in your narration, tell me how your amulet of protection saves you from damage. Vaunn, in your narration, tell me I get to give you a fun condition. Vaunn, you're going to take the condition ossified, as the bones inside your flesh are going to slowly begin turning to stone.
Cool.
That's slow process.
Like normal and something that happens to everyone. So
yeah. So surely you'll figure out how to take a wound and very stone infectious. Tell me where you take it and how your bones slowly start to ossify, and then Asta, you're going to bring it home. So Liana, take us away.
First up, I think Liana is just as I said, she's terrified. She's probably frozen in place, and so this stone guardian will maybe go for her first. Maybe she like swipes out one of her wings or something like that, and tries to blow Liana back, but the amulet around her neck briefly glows, and so instead of getting tossed off the side of the ziggurat, she just gets pushed back a little bit, and that's enough to sort of wake Liana up out of her stupor, and she squeaks a little bit and then hides behind Vaunn and is like, this, it's you, buddy. It's you. It's all you. Go for it. And she'll give Vaunn like a pat on the back. It's like, you got this, bud.
Vaunn, you're up next.
I think he just brings his warhammer up and hits her with it. Gets a really big, like, shattering blow in, but she reaches out and touches his arm, and like her finger like goes through his forearm and out the other side. And then she just draws it back, and he can sort of feel his arm. Like, it does bleed, but also like there's something wrong. He is having a hard time like twisting his wrist.
And then Asta, take us home.
All right. And then so I'm just gonna be like, hey, don't do that to my friend, and like take my sledgehammer that's now my sledgehammer and like just wham it like at him really as hard as I can, or at the statue, and like hits her like, let's go for like kind of in the shoulder, and like it starts to crack the whole thing as you know, like start small and just like, and then like crack and then just like fall down.
Fantastic.
Killed by the hammer that forged her.
Ooh,
Oh,
ooh, that's dark. Yeah, and she, the visage of Ilmarrow, the cracks spread across her body, her neck, and crawl up her face, and she collapses to the ground. Her eyes, let me see. Her eyes have been defaced as though they looked like they once held gemstones. But in the pile of rubble, you might find something worth salvaging. If you do take the time to actually go digging through that, you get to make a gold roll, which we haven't done yet because you've done more running than fighting. But yeah, anybody want to go ahead and take the time, sift through the rubble, see if there's anything worth finding?
I mean,
yeah.
Whatever we find, we should split because it was a group effort. But
Yep.
I think Tuvo should do it. He's the only one who's not, deathly injured.
I owe Asta a dice roll, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this to Asta. It was endurance 10 when you beat it. So in the roll tab, go down to gold. Give me a 10 gold dice roll. The way that gold works is only sixes count. The dice roller will do all that work for us. So if you see a blank face, it's not a 6. If you see the trophy icon, it is a 6.
Okay.
My God.
Wow.
That's impressive. That's a 3 gold roll. I've seen people roll up to 27 dice and not get a single gold roll, or not get a single gold. So you get to tell me what you find in this rubble. You can make it 3 different things worth 1 gold and pass them out to the combatants. That's, the usual fair way to do that. Or you can find 1 thing and somebody has to carry it and you split it amongst you. But yeah, what do you find, Asta?
Okay. So like I find like a really cool necklace that's like pearls and finger bones like connected. Um let's say I find a jeweled dagger, and let's say I find um uh, go with like fancy creepy goblet that's like a skull but like also like got gold like stuff on it.
Skull, bedazzled skull.
Yes, bedazzled skull goblet.
Each of you can take. So I'm gonna say that each of the combatants, you can all take any of those that you want. You can add them to your equipment. The jeweled dagger may be able to be used as a piece of combat equipment. They are each worth 1 gold. They are there in the chat. Also, let's go ahead and we're about halfway through, so let's go ahead and take our break. Let's go ahead and call it 10 minutes. So it's 25 now. We'll just go up to the next minute. So at 36 after, we'll come back. Sound good to everyone? All right.
Yep.
See you in about 10 minutes. And we're back. We got some treasure. Yay! Did that all get distributed? It looks like Liana took the jeweled dagger. Vaunn took the necklace of pearls and finger bones. So, Asta, you get the bedazzled skull goblet.
Ooh.
And those are all worth 1 gold. So great. All of a sudden, you're doing pretty good. And you have a hunt token that you can exchange for a piece of treasure. Real quick hunt token check. Tuvo, you've got 1. Asta, you've got 1. Liana, you've got 3. You can actually realize a set goal by yourself if you want to. And Vaunn has 1. However, the set goal for this set was to defeat the Stone Guardian, which you just did. Meaning, technically, you're allowed to leave whenever you want and move on to the 4th and final set. However, again, just a reminder, one of the stipulations about this incursion, you're not allowed to move backwards. So, you can keep looking around the Basilica for more treasure. Again, there are all kinds of reliquaries, sensors. You could find jewels in some of the statues. You could just find things that people left on in certain areas. But I think the stonemason just sort of becomes he collapses melodramatically in the rubble of his masterwork, and just sort of blubbers. If you threaten him at all, he'll go skittering away back towards the monastery. But for now, he's just going to, he's a monster technically, but this is Eberron, so he's not. He's just a stonemason who happens to have snakes for hair, and he's really sad that you destroyed his magnum opus.
Yep. I think we should leave him to his grief.
We sure Asta doesn't want to take anything else he's got, like his apron.
I was like,
his
I wonder.
life or his heart.
No.
I mean, you already took his heart and soul, so.
Right.
Beat him up, take his lunch money while you're at it.
You want to? You can make a hunt roll.
You know what? I'm gonna look into my backpack and see if I've got any more hard candy in there.
You sure? You?
No, that was one of my special things. You know what? I don't have anything for him. I will just be like, you know what? I'm just gonna sneak away and start looking around for other stuff, maybe. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing here?
As much as Tuba wanted to cut and run, he went to see if Lyra was okay.
Okay.
Okay, so Tuva's gonna go check on Lyra. Asta, since you guys are now, you use that door ritual, you got a few tiers up on the monastery on the ziggurat proper, but from here you can actually watch one of the processions of guards go running by. They're again definitely still looking for you, but again, these are some of your I, I don't know. I would presume a little much to say they're your old friends, but again, these are people that you've worked with side by side. But what I want you to do is point out one of the guards that you remember and tell me a detail about their life that reminds or reinforces your drive, meaning something about their life that if you were to continue being a guard, you wind up just like them and you'd never be able to earn your family's name. I'll give you a second to think on that while we go over to Tuvo checking on Lyra. She's battered and bruised, but not she's a little shaky to stand up. Wow, oh wow, that was quite something. I thought I was going to die.
Fortunately, you didn't, and you were swept from the worst of it.
What about you? What about are you okay? And she, pats you down looking for wounds or breaks.
I did not get a chance to get close. Vaunn has anger issues.
Vaunn, Arrowhead is glaring at Tuvo right now, as much as a falcon can glare. Just like, I'm gonna kill you and steal your lunch money.
Sounds normal.
Lyra, she blanches for a moment. Is this what this kind of life is? Is this what you've been doing for the past 15, 20 years?
This is a little more recent, but yeah, doing whatever I can. I gotta get there.
Why? Why? Why would you commit yourself thus? Look around. They're trying to hunt you down. Do you think that you're going to get a fair trial out of this?
I'm hoping to have heavy enough pockets that will sidestep that altogether.
If your family could save you from this, you wouldn't be squirreling around in gutters and rooftops. You know that. I know that.
Because of them that I have to do this. I don't want to go to Dreadhold.
She nods. I don't want you to go to Dreadhold either, so she squeezes your arm gently and she goes, no matter how this night ends, I just want you to know that this has been the best night of my life so far. And I think with that, she goes to rejoin the others. Asta, tell me about this guard that you say.
All right, and it's actually a guard that she's pretty good friends with. Like they get lunches together, or like talk to each other quite a bit. And the guard is engaged to this guy who works in the stables, who's just kind of awful. Like not even, he's not even that bad. He's just not very funny or very interesting. And all Asta's been hearing about, like during their lunches together, has been wedding details. like this color or that color, or about, you know, things his mom wants to do with the wedding that she doesn't like, that's not her style. And she's just been hearing about this non-stop for several weeks. And she's just like, mm-mm, mm-mm, not going to that kind of life.
So Asta's just never getting married, is what I'm hearing. Treasure hunter for life.
Treasure hunter for life.
Married to the job.
That's right.
The hustle.
Married to the job. The job is way funnier and more interesting than a man who works in the stables could ever be.
Right.
God.
He thinks he's cool because he like trains horses and stuff, but he's not. They're stupid.
You just destroyed an effigy of Lady Ilmarrow. The Blood of Vol doesn't have saints, but if they had something close, it would have been that. What stable boy could ever hope to match? What stable boy wedding could ever amount to that? No, absolutely not. No, that's fantastic. Do you feel sorry for this guard, this person?
You know, I do. I feel sorry that she doesn't feel sorry for herself.
Amazing. So from here you can kind of see the stairways. You know, you have enough time now to actually more closely assess the situation. I'll say that you can see a stairway broken several levels that will actually take you up to the eastern wall of the district. And from there, you can probably make it out without touching ground, get back up to the rooftops where it's a little bit safer. Because the ground level at this point is crawling with ducal guards looking for you. But again, they haven't found you yet. And I also think that because there's active practice going on here, and because the Crimson Monastery is such a powerful political figure, the guards won't actually enter the district unless they have reason, unless they like actively know you're there and are actively pursuing you. So this is a bit of a safe bubble if you want to either go looking for treasure or if you want to go moving on. The next district is the poor side of town, Ashta. Just to let you know a little bit more about what you're going to be getting into. But it is also freedom.
Yeah, I think we gotta look a little bit more for some kind of treasure.
Yeah. A little more treasure.
At least one.
Okay. Then, you know, ask some questions about the world. Tell me how you're going to go looking for treasure, and I'll give you some hunt rolls. But anybody?
Is there anything gilded anywhere?
Anything gilded?
It's a lot of stone, but is there anything covered in precious stones?
How would you go about looking for gilded things? How does Vaunn go looking for stuff?
This direction didn't quite work out last time. I think maybe we could go with persistence. Like he's like, as they're walking toward, you know, the opposite side of the district, he's like looking under things, he's looking behind things, he's looking like just leaving no stone unturned.
Sure. This is give me a hunt roll, and you get 2 light die for it. And then also, of course, remember you can turn in your hunt tokens at any point in time. If you think they're burning a hole in your pockets.
That's a 6 and a 3.
6. Fantastic. So you do not encounter something terrible. You go digging around some of these more dilapidated areas that people just don't frequent. And you have a better viewpoint of this because, again, you're a few tiers up on the ziggurat. You can actually go down one of the buttresses, and lying down at the bottom of it, someplace where people don't go, maybe there's like a wall or it's just inconvenient, or there's some rubble left over from the Siren siege. You see a skeleton wearing nuns' robes. Well, not nuns. They aren't nuns here. A seeker's robes. Its bones have long been picked clean by ravens. But it's about 60, it's about a bottom of about a 60-foot drop from here. But because you got a 6, I'm gonna not make you risk going down there to get it.
Arrowhead can go grab it for me.
Oh, I love that even better. Arrowhead actually spots something. Well, you, because you were looking for something that glitters, you spot something, and somehow over the course of the past few hours, you've been able to bond with Arrowhead this
We're
way.
best friends.
Sure, why not? Yeah. Arrowhead knows what you're looking for. Also, you was the companion to a treasure hunter for a literal D&D adventurer for years. So yeah, he knows what the business is all about. You send him down, and Arrowhead returns with a reliquary in a silver chain, necklace length. There is a knuckle bone inside the reliquary. The chain itself is worth 1 gold. The reliquary will absorb 1 ruin before the knuckle bone inside turns to dust. Technically functions kind of like a piece of armor, but it only takes away 1 ruin. I guess it could also work on other things.
But it's still going to be worth 1 gold.
The chain itself is worth 1 gold. Yes.
Okay.
The reliquary.
So am I adding the reliquary to the armor? My armor?
No, because it doesn't function quite like armor, because armor blocks all ruin increases in a round. This only blocks 1 ruin.
Okay.
So just add it to your found equipment. Again, I've got the rules here. If for whatever reason you forget, but you just tank 1 ruin, your next ruin, I guess, unless you don't want to for some reason. You can continue holding on to it, I guess, between incursions. But yeah, it will absorb the reliquary itself will absorb 1 ruin before the knuckle bone turns to dust, and the silver chain itself is worth 1 gold. The reliquary itself does not have, even though it's very magical, it does not have actual material value, but somebody will buy the chain.
Brad. Jared, you were talking.
I was going to say, Tuvo, if this Gorgon comes out smelling like myrrh, Tuvo wants to check the chamber that he stepped out of, because Tuvo's thinking that this Gorgon probably gets a lot of space. People probably aren't all up in his private quarters, but we're about to be.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. All right, give me a hunt roll. Again, appraisal is so good for just digging around things. Forgetting that hunt roll and Scooby-Dooing around. Yeah, go ahead and give me a hunt roll 2 light die. Okay, you get a token. That's a 5, so you get a token, but you encounter something terrible. You're something terrible. We'll come back to that. Liana and Asta, do you guys want to get up to anything?
Yeah. No, I would definitely let's see. Asta's not very good at looking for stuff. She's kind of, yeah, but she's going to, I think, be maybe kind of looking around. I know, like, yeah, they're not saints, but I also feel like people are people. Sometimes they, is maybe kind of looking around the statues and seeing if anyone sort of left any sort of like offerings or anything like that behind. Thinking that old habits die hard.
Yeah. Just again, when going for that first, the second light die in a hunt roll, or the first light die in a risk roll, it's both skills and equipment. So you have that 60 foot of rope.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, if you want to tie off to something and rappel down, you have a great sort of angle or advantage on folks that might be unsuspecting of.
Oh.
You might be able to Mission Impossible down and grab some loot from somewhere. But what's in place? That's just an option, but you can stick with what you want, or with whatever you want. But where's some place that you'd like to Mission Impossible into, maybe, or something else that you could do a
Oh,
60 foot of rope?
no, but like, yeah, no, that's great though, because they've got the services going on right
Mhm.
down
Yeah.
below. So could I like, I don't know, like maybe swoop in the back and grab like, I don't know, like a piece of jewelry or I guess collection plates are not necessarily
Absolutely.
bloodable, but okay, yeah,
Yeah.
like see
No,
if I
there's
can
various religious. You're gonna go.
right.
I think both. I think both you and Tuvo then probably go in the same door, because you can probably get into the monastery proper
Mm-hmm.
from the stonecrafters' quarters. Um, and then yeah, you open the door and like you just see it's the Sistine Chapel, only we're in fantasy scale, so it's even bigger. And in
Mm-hmm.
fact, you're in just like one room of many. Like, let's get Denis Villeneuve here on the phone for some big epic like wide shots. The Sardaukar chanting from Dune, just full on. You open this door and it's a wall of sound, just intonation, uh, bass hitting you. Um, as you look out into this space, and you're able to find something to tie off to, and shimmy your way down to the side. Give me a hunt roll with 2 light die, please, as I look for some possible treasures for you to find.
All
Okay,
right.
6. So you simply get a token and don't encounter something terrible. Um, I do have something here. There is another one of these really tall statues. I don't know what's different about it that suggests that like it won't come to life and kill you. Other than the fact that it's not Ilmero. It's probably, oh god, um, I can't remember the names of the thought leaders of the Blood of Vol right now. Um,
The
but
Grim,
it's what's up?
or do you mean the Covenant,
No, it's
or
a name, not the Crimson Covenant. I think it starts with an M, not Medev. I can't remember.
The matriarch Minar.
Doesn't sound right. In any case, one of their big thinkers, like the equivalent of like George Washington in American culture, like just a dude who everybody uh follows his thought process. He's done a lot of writing on the Blood of Vol. He's got a big, like 25-foot tall statue at the head of this room that you can, from your angle, just like rappel down the side of the wall behind this statue, um, as this service is going on. And a lot of these statues, you're an experienced treasure hunter. Well, no, you're not, but you've maybe read some books on treasure hunting. Maybe you have like pulp treasure hunting,
Mm-hmm.
entertainment that you've read. There are hollow recesses in the bases of many of these statues. They're used for hiding things. And so you decided to just give it a little knock knock and a check. Um, and you find an onyx skull. There is a mark on the forehead of this skull, much like how a warforged would have a gulra. It is one interpretation of Onatar. I'm going to give you a condition.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Vessel of Onatar, so long as this is in your possession. It is worth 4 gold. And again, remember, found equipment, so long as it's found equipment, can be used just like equipment in your backpack. So Anatar, again, is god of the forge, crafting, things of that nature. If you can leverage that in any of your narration and work this condition into it somehow, you get a light die on some checks. But it's also worth 4 gold. Bibbity boop. There you go. And you get nothing terrible. Liana, would you like to throw in your lot?
Will exchange 2 tokens, please, for stuff.
2 tokens for stuff. Let me go into my list of stuff. First thing you find, very easy. You find a silver wine goblet left carelessly on the ledge of a rather picturesque area. Hard to access, but much like the Heathertop house, somebody clearly has been able to do so. They've been drinking wine out of a very fancy cup. It's now yours. It's worth 1 gold.
Yoink.
And the second one. Oh, where do you go looking around for this treasure? Are you like in with Tuvo and the others?
I'm thinking that she is going to be sneaky.
Be sneaky.
So I'm even tempted to like just sneak up to like one of these worshippers while they're chanting and just nick something out of their pockets.
Fantastic. Then what you get is a silver bell with a ruby clapper, the little thing on the inside that goes ding ding.
Mm-hmm.
As you squirrel it away and you give it a little test ring-a-ling, it makes no sound. Several seconds later, you hear the sound of the same bell ringing from a different direction as though it were in the distance.
Okay.
And you're a craftsperson, a Caneth, you would give it a few tries and you would verify that like each time it's coming from a different direction, but each time the ringing, when you ring it itself, it does nothing. But a few seconds later, you hear the sound of ringing from someplace else, the exact same ring. So it's worth 1 gold.
Nice.
You can call it a silver bell or trick bell or whatever you want to call it. Fantastic. Tuvo, you're something awful. We are about an hour out, but I'm probably going to say we should keep playing. We can do Hearthfire stuff offline, because this is really fun. If anybody does want to move into Hearthfire, just either like let me know in the chat or something. But
it would be cool to see the next like district that we're gonna get to, but
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. Let's do Tuvo's terrible thing.
I'm not gonna have Tuvo encounter this terrible thing yet. I'm gonna bank it for later. But what I'm gonna say is, as you come back out of the stone, as I actually imagine that Tuvo is like helping out with the rappelling because you're both kind of in that same physical space, and you have to have somebody like kind of pull you back up. But as you all come back out with your ill-gotten gains back to the exterior of the Crimson Monastery, the pressure gets increased because more guard patrols, you can see them coming. You can actually see them arguing with some of the seeker guards standing at the entrances to the district, and you actually see that some of the ducal guards are now going to start filtering and filing in, and they're actually going to start shaking down some of these robed practitioners, taking off their hats, looking at them, pointing to the billboards. You can see them asking, have you seen this person or these people? And so the search is going to actually move directly in. But the terrible thing that you don't see is on a plateau nearby, back towards the commercial district Climbers Rest, there is simply a wavering of air, like a heat shadow. And from a breakage in the image, a foot emerges from the bottom of a cloak. And from there, they can perfectly see you four coming back out on the plateau.
It's
And we
Prosiana.
are
We have to
blissfully...
run. We have to go.
I imagine we're blissfully unaware of this, so we
Yes.
come out of that place with all of our stuff going, yeah, look at this, man, we got so much stuff, we're so good.
Yeah,
we're home free, guys.
I'm not
Everything's gonna be
gonna
great.
Yeah, no, you guys are all blissfully unaware of this. As players, yes, Pris is back on the case, and knows exactly where you are. That's your something terrible.
Liana feels the hairs on the back of her neck just kind of prick up, but she's ignoring it because everything's great. Look at all this shit we got. It's
Absolutely.
Awesome.
But I am going to say that it is time to move on to Ash Dump. It's the heat is coming. So you scramble your way up, you find your way back up to the rooftops and head to Ash Dump, the poor district of Atur. Set goal here, very simple: reach the eastern wall and flee the city. Again, you can collectively decide to spend 3 hunt tokens, which you do have well more than, to realize the set goal. At which point the incursion simply ends. Or you can get there more narratively, but it's going to involve lots of rolls and risks and things like that. But you can do that whenever you want. So Ash Dump is the district where anything unwanted or discarded eventually ends up. It is a haze of acrid, choking smog hanging over it most of the time. And the prevailing weather means it is downwind from the rest of the city. The buildings here are ramshackle, rickety, made of found materials, built too high and packed too tight. Many of them were actually destroyed recently. Really quick history lesson into a paint the scene. About 10, 15 years ago-ish, the nation of Seer besieged Atur with a warforged colossus, trying to destroy the undead vaults beneath the city. Paint the scene. Other than the gap in the western wall, or sorry, the eastern wall, other than the gap in the eastern wall that's never been repaired, what other signs or scars of that conflict have yet to be repaired in this poor district of Atur? You may answer.
There's a big footprint on the ground.
Giant footprint. Yes.
Like deep. Like it's like if you were on the regular, like normal on the ground, you fell in, you would probably get hurt. Like it.
I imagine when it rains, it like fills up a little bit too. Yeah.
It's like public pool size.
Oh God, yeah, just like kids playing in this like war scar. Say that 5 times fast.
I will say that part of the Colossus attack was successful, and there's a retaining wall, much like Fort Bones to the south, has been built with skeletons that were destroyed during the attack and were no longer viable to the crown.
I'm picturing a part of the Colossus that broke free during the fight that has now been turned into housing. So like maybe it's part of a hand or something, a few fingers that people are living in.
And I think like outside kind of this housing area, you've got a group of people that are kind of surrounded by like, you know, like maybe like a fire, like a trash can or something, who have never recovered from it. That you know they've lost something, whether it's something physical or home, and have not been able to rebuild since then.
Fantastic. You can actually see some interesting things just to point out, give you a little bit of food to fuel exploration here. One of the tenement blocks, most of them are lit. I think here we're a bit farther away from the magical side of the city. High Top and Climbers Rest, the commercial district. I think here people are a little more old fashioned, lighting with torches and maybe gas lamps if they're lucky. But there is one tenement block that certainly seems to be abandoned. There's no lights lighting it up. There is a burned out church steeple on a building a few blocks away. You guys are being regarded. I think Vaunn, you'd probably be the one to notice. There's a large scarred tomcat with his harem just chilling in the residual leftover heat on a tin roof, left over from the sun hours ago. From here, you can actually see the eastern wall and the gap that you need to get to. It's pretty far off. If you reach the eastern wall itself, you could run along it, but there are patrols along the way that might be able to stop you. There's a rickety water tower. I'm guessing it's like that wood plank open top kind of construction. Actually, it's not open top. There are just kind of like sheet metal, just kind of like haphazardly stacked on the top, but you can probably move those out of the way if you need to. It sweats and sprung a couple of slow leaks, so there's still a little bit of water in it, a couple little drips on the bottom side, probably not terribly much. Yeah, not a tensor crane, but just like a normal sort of rudimentary mechanical arm is holding up a small stack of damp hay bales that have been lugged up with great effort. People literally have to like hop on ropes and pull, and there's a pulley, so there's a little bit of extra help, but like they're schlepping it down here. No magic discs for them. Screw them. And the news from the main part of the city has reached this area. You can actually see there are some folks going door to door with torches. There's a lot of buzz and excitement for this part of city at this point in night. And every now and then you can hear little words on the wind. They're definitely talking about you. A bunch of "have you seen them?" A bunch of "they think they might have come this way," things like that. And you have there's small packs of people right now, but you got people sort of walking around with torches, looking around for you guys. And then last but not least, there's some music being played, quite distant, but it's very different from the music that you guys heard at this fete back on High Top. It's not a four-piece, very posh orchestra. It's very ragtag, not quite Bayou Zydeco, but very different feel kind of music, very improvised instruments, bucket
Untuned,
drum.
unpolished harp.
Yeah, gosh, an unpolished harp that just sounds so sour. They're not even playing it right. They're like plucking it more like a guitar, because how dare they? But yeah, I turned it over to you guys. What would you like to do here? Again, your goal is to get to the Western Wall. Check your burdens. Check your hunt tokens. Remember, you cannot take them with you. Once you leave the incursion, all unspent hunt tokens are gone.
Why do I feel like there's something near that water tower?
You could always go look.
Is this ossified condition slowing Vaunn down at all?
You
Can
said
he
it's
tell
on
what's
your
happening?
you said it's on your arm. It went through your forearm. So I actually think you've got a stone gauntlet for an arm now.
Oh, it's not just turning his bones.
Oh yeah, I did. It is just his bones. Yeah, but I think then it's just like the forearm and the wrist. It's kind of it hurts to make a fist, I think is what we can say. House Tharashk could cure it pretty easily. But good luck finding a Tharashk clinic out here.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look into that later.
I'd say an appropriate ritual. An appropriate ritual could possibly reverse the condition. The only one that I see you guys really have access to, actually, Vaunn, is your own of Beast. If you shift your command over your own body, could overdo it, but it's a risk.
We'll see what happens, I guess.
Oh, you want to do it?
I mean, we'll see if that is something that is something that he needs to do. I don't know if he's smart enough to go, something is happening to me, I'm going to shift now to take care of it. Like, I feel
mean,
like
you're a shifter. Like, shifting is natural to you. Like, you've probably had other situations, cuts, bruises, lacerations, that you've lived through. This is a curse, but I mean, so is your
I don't know if
lycanthropy.
Vaunn knows that, so
it's affecting your body. Anyways, I'll let you make that decision.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's your call.
See what happens.
Tuvo has a horrible idea for a hunt roll.
Maybe
that
later.
Can only go bad.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Do it.
Okay. Tuvo is going to approach the shaken people at the trash fire.
All right.
Yeah. Say, don't be alarmed. We are changelings acting on behalf of the Duke. As you can see, we have one of his guards with us. We're trying to show people what the wanted criminals look like. We've heard that they are wear-touched. We need any silver that you can donate to the cause.
Fantastic. So you're not really asking questions about the world or exploring. I think this is a risk roll. Because this is when you attempt a risky task, and it sounds like you definitely risky. Have a hopeful outcome. Which it sounds like, so articulate to me what exactly you were hoping is happening here, because I have an idea, but
so, convince these addled people that they are acting on behalf of the crown. If you get them to toss over something of value so that they can be left alone.
Okay. So best case scenario, they're not going to, they're going to assume that you're there on service of the crown. And if they have any silver, they will donate it over to you. Fantastic. Obviously you have trickery, right? Yeah, you have trickery, negotiation. Somewhere in all of that, you get a light die.
I've already got the devil's bargain. I've got it.
let's start with
Oh no.
what we hope or no, not what we hope will go wrong here. Table, what could go wrong here if Tuvo if the negotiations do not go as
They
planned?
don't believe him and call for the guards that
Yeah,
are
that's
knocking on doors.
yes, absolutely. They see through your disguise, or it works so well that they go and get the guards to go, yes, we're absolutely going to help you look for these guys. They get all of their friends.
Oh yeah.
Because I hate it when you have a
Or
skill and it doesn't work well. So I always want to leave open the option of it works too well.
It works too well.
maybe they try to blackmail us back, or like, yeah, like, oh, we know we're on to you. You better give us something to shut us up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Devil's bargains. What do you got?
See, I was thinking that no matter what, when the guards come and talk to them to ask them if they'd seen anyone, they would point the way that we went. But that's like failure no matter what. So
I mean,
I don't
they
know
could
if that
still
works.
they could still give Tuvo silver and believe him.
I guess.
But
then when the guards come, they get confused and point, they went that way and
Right. I
actually
mean, that
put the
makes
guards
sense.
onto
They
us.
would do that because we work with the guards, right? Yeah, the people that look like the people. They went
Sure.
that way.
I'll leave that on the table because
Yeah.
you don't have to accept the devil's bargain. But the devil's bargain, I guess, would be they will eventually point the guards the way that you went.
I've got one. The silver that they hand over is not pure silver because they're pretty poor. Maybe it's got some other impurities in it that have unknown side effects.
Oh. I'm gonna say, like, take that, like, is they have something they're trying to get rid of.
Oh.
The silver they give us is cursed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And they know it's cursed. Like, hey,
Sweet, here you go.
I like the silver is cursed. Or again, it's no matter what, they're going to give you something awful. If you succeed, it might be cursed silver. If you don't succeed, it's not going to be silver, but it's still going to be bad.
I like that.
Okay, fantastic. I don't think you're risking mind or body yet to accomplish this. So go ahead and give me a risk roll with just 2 light die, please. Unless you want to use your liar ritual.
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay. 2 light. Every time.
Every time, what?
Nice.
Well, you can add a dark die and re-roll. That is a 3 high.
It's 3 and a 2 for posterity.
Yes, 3 and a 2, which is a miss. So things will just get worse. But you can add a dark die and re-roll.
I think I will.
Okay. And to me, I feel like then you're now using your liar ritual because it would mechanically be the same roll anyways.
Right.
Yeah. So give me a 2 light, 1 dark, please.
Okay.
That's awesome.
So he's rolled 3 2s.
Well, the good news is the 2 is not higher than your current ruin, so your ruin does not go up. But it is the dark die. When it's tied, the dark die is highest because of the rules of the forest. So you cannot re-roll. It's a 2, which I guess is the same as a 3, basically. So it's literally the worst roll I've ever seen.
Yeah.
2 dark high.
Look, I knew this was bad from the start,
but you fail and things get worse. I know how things get worse. I know exactly how things get worse. Let's come back to you. Anybody else? Does anybody else want to do anything before shit hits the fan?
I probably had better step away from this if they're looking for were creatures and they're going to hand over silver.
This is going to be stuff all happening simultaneously.
Right.
So this is what you were doing while Tuvo is having this this dialogue.
I did want to check out the water tower, but is that too far away?
No, it doesn't have to be. You might just get split off from the rest of the group and and be absent for a while.
I don't know. I don't know why I'm drawn to the water tower. It just seems like a place that,
sure.
It's a good spot. They're not going to move that. Everybody knows where it is. It's a good spot to remember to go back to, like maybe you buried something there.
I love all of that. Do you have a skill or ability that would help you investigate the water tower? Skill or ability, equipment. Sorry.
If he is looking for something buried around there, he's got strength to dig.
Okay.
And he's very used to doing that because he used to be a grave robber. So
okay, so you're gonna go looking around for some stuff in the ground buried around the water tower. All right. Give me a hunt die with two. Give me a hunt roll with 2 die, please.
A 2 and a 3.
2 and a 3. So you encounter something terrible.
Jared and I are rolling 2s and 3s together tonight, so someone else needs to roll.
Yes.
For a while.
We will come back to that. Asta or Liana, what do you guys get up to while this is all going on?
Yeah, no, I think I'm going to be, because I feel like if this place where all the lost stuff ends up, like obviously you got to dig around a lot, but there's going to be something interesting somewhere. So I think I'm going to be, maybe kind of sneaking, like if people are out, maybe are they out of their houses looking for us so we can go in their houses and look for, that sounds really creepy, but also hey, they're
Very
looking
Zelda.
for us. They're looking for us.
Yeah, you're a treasure. Welcome to the world of being an opportunistic treasure hunter.
Yeah, that's just wrapping her head around that a little bit. But yeah, she's like, you know what? Yeah, they're looking for us. And maybe I'm gonna tug on Liana and be like, hey, maybe we should look at through their stuff if they're looking for us. I'm just saying, I think that's fair.
Yeah, totally fair. I mean, okay. We're already done for, right? They already know that we stole stuff. It doesn't matter if we steal more stuff.
Right.
It's true. Yeah. And in fact, you can even see people, because these people are so obsessed with themselves and ignorant. No one ever thinks to look up in this world. They just got airships, 5-7 years ago, and nobody ever thinks to look up. So you can see when some folks, you kind of start taking note of some of the mob as they sort of gather in numbers and grow and move around. They go knocking on doors and they address each other by name. And one of the houses not too far from you, they get some people from inside, and they go, yeah, we're gonna go look around for those folks. And they leave their upper floors, totally abandoned. Go ahead and give me a hunt roll. I have a feeling vigilance is what you're going for here.
Yep.
Give me a hunt roll with 2 light die. Do I owe you all? Okay, so you at least get a hunt token. But you are going to encounter something terrible. Something terrible. Asta, do you have a conscience? You're kind of the heart and soul of this party, right?
I do.
Okay. You're something terrible is that as you go looking around, you do get a hunt token. Again, you can exchange that immediately to find something, but as it stands, you're not going to find anything unless you spend a hunt token. But as you are digging around this poor person, their drawers and bookshelves, and you check under the bed, under the mattress, because that's where apparently everybody hides things in old school adventuring, is under the mattress. But as you go digging around this person's house, you hear an argument start to break out just down at the end of the street from where you're at. And it is the mob that is assembled. Whoever is leading it is accusing somebody, saying, I think they're there. I think you're harboring them. I think you should let us in right now. I think if you were a true member of this community, that you would let us in and go just have a look around. And the person on the other side is trying to say, look, I'm not, I'm innocent here. I have no idea what you're talking about. I have a sick daughter up there.
All right. Oh, shoot. Leona, did you come along with me, or am I by myself?
Yeah. And
okay.
I'm thinking I'm not going to do anything else because I think we've got enough terrible things going on.
Okay.
So let's get out of this one first.
I think we can save them. I think we can save this guy and like escape the city with him and his sick daughter. I think we can bring them along with us. I think it'll be fun.
Sure.
Might be a little overkill.
I know.
This is where we discover that Liana's occupation as a smuggler means that she was actually a people smuggler.
Oh my god.
No, I'm just saying. I'm not saying this is what we should do. I'm saying this is what Asa is saying. She thinks she is doing right now.
We cross that wall and we're like, quick, we need 36 more horses and we can't explain.
There aren't. You have just enough horses and like one cart for the four of you.
Okay. No, for sure.
Now, again, I'll let it stand that like this can be what Asta wants. Absolutely.
Right.
I'm just telling Liana why this is an awful idea.
Yeah.
But also you're free to do it. You can, there's all kinds of narrative stuff you can do. So
all right, no, look, you're on the right track. We got to save these people because they did nothing wrong, right? So how about, no, that won't work. I was thinking we just stand here, we let those folks see us, and then we pretend that it was the guy who owns the house that actually captured us. Let him take the credit, and then we make off. Then we disappear.
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea.
Okay, so what is this plan?
Do we yell from the house, help, help? He's gonna give us to the guards?
Yeah, we yell out. It's like, yeah, look, I know you've got us tied up and all that, but you don't know us. We're real good at getting out of bonds, so better come and check your knots.
Let's come at this from a slightly different angle, and then we can sort of narrate depending on what the dice say. This is going to be a risk roll for sure. What do you hope will happen mechanically? Well, narratively, I guess. It sounds like you want to pull them away from this poor guy being incriminated and get them to the house that you're in.
They go to the guards to wait. So
we want the guy whose house we're in, right? Who's about to get beat up by these other people because they think that he's harboring fugitives, right? He's not actually harboring fugitives. He has caught the fugitives and he's just waiting for a moment to go and get the guards so that the owner of this house is no longer being incriminated. He's actually going to be hailed as a hero in this community.
Right. What if or like even like maybe that they go to get to the guards because they want to get to the guards first and be like, oh no, we have the guard, we found them. Yeah. No,
so wait, are you in?
I don't know.
Are you in the guy who has the sick daughter? Are you in his house? No,
I think that was the idea, right?
No, I think it was down the street. House. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay, that was my misunderstanding.
My bad. I probably.
You know what? Can I? Yeah. So what we want is for them to. So if they go to if they go to his house and we're not there, he could get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I think we want them to go try to get the guards. I know. We rail from Rando's house like, hey, Rando, we're fine now. We're in your house. And then as they go up to Rando's house, we escape.
That's okay. Yes, that's definitely workable. So you'll have to reveal yourselves, obviously. Mm-hmm. Shout down the street at him and yeah. Let's give him a name. His name's Tommen, Tommen. I'll type that in chat. You've heard them go back and forth, and you keep hearing somebody go, "Hey, Tommen, shut the flap up." Do either of you have a skill or piece of equipment that would help you in this trickery? I think spontaneity is the easy go-to.
Yeah.
Maybe protection again.
Okay.
Try to protect the guy from the mob.
Okay. Yeah. If you want to, whoever it is going to roll the initial risk roll. The other one can help if it's necessary.
I think protection, because we don't need to say anything here, but we're saying something to try and protect this guy from the mob.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So okay, Asta, you have one light die. What can go wrong here is they're not going to get the guards. They're going to come right for you. And we're going to start another chase sequence.
They don't hear you at all. They're focused on their violence toward their neighbors, and they just don't even notice you guys.
Oh no, yeah. Okay. Yeah, they've seen your faces, but they don't know your voices. And it's maybe I know it's Eberron, it's bright night, but they're too caught up, or they're using this as a pretense to do what they want to do anyways, which is break into this guy's house and steal his stuff. So yeah, that's fantastic. Devil's bargains. Let's see.
No, that would be more something that could go wrong. I was thinking that the shout attracts the attention of the guards.
I will say no matter what, your shout attracts attention, and just leave it at that.
Okay.
Because we don't just have guards after us.
Right now, it's just the mob. The actual ducal guards, as far as you know, have not penetrated into Ashdump yet. Maybe that's a devil's bargain as well. Is as a devil's bargain, ducal guards. It's going to be more of a narrative kind of thing. But ducal guards will enter. You won't be running from a mob. You'll be running from ducal guards in the case of a chase sequence.
I will say that no matter what, the sick daughter is a student of Heathertop.
All right.
And that just is one more red flag that goes up.
Got some devil's bargains on the table. You want to take any of them?
I think ducal guards.
Okay. So we're gonna escalate a little bit. Dual guards. We'll get a cutaway of a camera shift, and we'll see either somebody like does a little pointing thing or whatever, and ducal guards start running from the Crimson Monastery and start moving into Ashdump in force. You have 2 light die. I don't think you're risking mind or body yet, so it'll just be a 2 light die risk roll. Go ahead and show me what you got. That's a 4. It's going to be a success with a complication. Complication will be given the time, the ducal guards are a lot closer. They I think the complication is going to be you will pull the mob away, but they're going to come at you from one side, and the ducal guards are going to come from basically the other almost immediately. You'll have maybe a little time to do like one more thing. Well, maybe not. We'll see. You can add a dark die and re-roll if you want to aim for higher, but getting higher than a 4 is.
I think I'm gonna stick with the 4.
All right, fantastic. We're gonna cut back to Tuvo now. So Tuvo, you come up to these folks hanging around this trash fire, singing your song about we're changelings. We are looking for, we're gonna help out the ducal guards, and they don't seem to hear you at first. Maybe they're all just caught up in their own miserable lives or whatever it is that they do. But when you get close to them, just a little bit too close, how do I want to do this? You realize something is off. Their hair isn't on right. And just as that sort of odd thing comes to you, you hear a voice on the wind. It's a woman's voice, very prim, very proper. I don't think you've heard this voice yet. It's an elvish woman. And she says, not to you, but close enough to you that you can hear it. There are 3 roses in a vase. The 3rd one is yellow. And you're going to feel a sharp pain in your side. Lyra has stabbed you.
Yep.
The wigs, the 3 people standing around a trash fire take off their wigs, and you see they are all relatively young looking. Well, I don't know how much you see. You're currently having a dagger in your side. But 3 young-ish women of various different Eberron races, Korvar, human, and they are all taking out knives. What do you do?
I think he kind of looks back to Lyra with just, the look of shock on his face, and he's going to try to flee for his life.
Okay, this is going to be a risk roll. Do you have any skills or abilities to help you out here? Or skills or equipment? I keep saying skills or abilities. Skills or equipment?
Yeah. I'm going to use the manacles on Lyra.
Manacles. Oh, yes. Okay. Fantastic. So that gives you your first light die. What can go wrong here? This is open to the full table. It takes too much time, and you're gonna have to survive a round of combat with the Heathertop girls.
Yeah, that seems pretty apt.
Yeah,
you could die.
Oh, well, actually, yeah, the worst thing that could happen here is you die. Or you take a severe crippling wound, because ruin 6 is really what would be your death. Devil's Bargain, you will have to survive one round with the Heathertop girls.
I'm too shocked. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I believed in love. I believed in love.
I will accept that bargain.
Okay. 2 light. You are risking mind or body. This is a very deadly task, so it's 2 light, 1 dark. Give me a risk roll.
Now nobody else is close by, right? Me and Asta are
No, this is all him.
Light.
Roll a 4.
Yeah. 4 light.
4 light. You can add a dark die and re-roll if you want if you want to aim for a better result. That would be a dice pool of 4. That's not the worst odds in the world.
I don't think Jared's rolled. This is the highest Jared's rolled on it.
I know.
That means statistically, like, you have to get a 5 or 6 if you re-roll.
Sure.
I don't know.
I don't think that's how random rolls work.
I have no idea. I'm just saying, you could re-roll.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna do okay. If it's
yeah.
If you're gonna re-roll, then it's 2 light, 2 dark.
2 light, 2 dark. I'm taking it.
You're gonna die.
Yeah, maybe.
6 light. I cannot believe it. Oh my god. Okay. Well, that means you get to narrate this escape. We are running a little short on time, so narrate quickly. But narrate just this is how you get to the wall.
Oh
well, actually no, you have to survive a round of combat.
Yeah.
But narrate narrate how you get Lyra out of this fight, and then we'll talk about the chase.
Okay, so as the realization sets in and the pain, Tuo just kind of takes her hand, still on the dagger, in his side, clasps the manacles around her wrists, and just shoves her back, saying, "I'll come back if I can."
And the girls are going to start chasing after you. I think you still have take a condition stabbed. In fact, actually change beloved to stabbed.
Okay.
Well, yeah, change beloved to stabbed. She still loves you. He's just a sleeper agent.
Just a thought. So we have enough hunt tokens that together we could spend 3 and achieve the set goal.
Correct.
And just narratively say everything works out.
You could,
we get our Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, that is exactly how it would work. Yes.
Do we want to do that?
I'd be fine with that. Can we spend our other hunt tokens on the way out?
Yes, I will let you do that. You currently, Tuva has 2, Asta has 2, Liana has 1, Vaunn has 1. I just need 3 in any combination. Who wants to put one up?
I'll do 1.
Asta's putting up 1.
I'll do 1.
I'll do 1 as well.
Vaunn is putting up 1. Liana is putting up 1. Yep. All of you go ahead and reduce your hunt tokens by 1. And let's spend some hunt tokens. Liana, I don't think you personally are going to see this, but during your flight on a rooftop nearby, the air shimmers as though it were in a heat shadow. But let's go right to left on the character keeper. Every one of you tell me just like how you get to the gap in the western wall. Just a really quick, just narrate a fun little either run or parkour or something.
Yeah, I think Vaunn, he was supposed to get something terrible from his digging. I think that he's like, it's time to go. He sends Arrowhead off to just like watch above and come down if there's anything shiny or anything dangerous that he needs to know about. And he's just, as he's running past something, maybe there's like a gathering place, like a pub or something that has like a bell or some kind of insignia hanging on the outside of it that he just grabs as he's running.
So you're spending one more hunt token. You get a lace animal collar with an ivory charm on it. The ivory charm is worth 1 gold. Next up, Liana, narrate your thrilling escape from the city.
Yeah, so they've drawn the attention of the mob. They've drawn the attention of the ducal guards. Everybody's chasing them. It's a hellbent race across the rooftops. And Liana doesn't see the shimmering sort of haze of heat, but again, the hairs on the back of her neck kind of stand up, and she feels something. She puts a hand around her wrist where her bracelet used to be, the friendship bracelet that she made with her father. Of course, it's not there. She knows who has it. She just kind of says, "Yep, Dad, this is for you." And she just keeps running.
Where would you find it in a way between here and the Eastern Wall that suggests you were meant to find it?
Ooh.
I'll let you think on that. I'll come back to that. Asta, narrate your escape from the city.
All right, so I am going to, like it's closing in, jump out the window, and kind of like do parkour shit, like from windowsill to edge, like down this gutter, up this thing, and along the way, I'm gonna see a guard that I really, really hate, and pick their pocket on the way out, and then keep on going. And then just kind of.
Yeah, just give yourself 1 gold.
Okay.
And Tuvo, narrate your escape from the city. How do you get away from the Heathertop girls?
After Tuvo shoves Lyra down and tries to flee her wayward sisters, he's just clutching his side. He's booking it. He's just kind of blindly running through the streets, which works out in his favor as he runs face to face with a dive bombing Arrowhead going after treasure, which serves, as the flock of feathers just gives Tuvo the chance to kind of, grab a hold of it like Link grabs a Kuko and spin the bird towards the Heathertop girls to use the falcon as a distraction.
Screech, squawk.
Amazing.
He hates you even more now.
So you all make it
dive bombing for me instead of the treasure.
You have 2 hunt tokens. I imagine you want to spend them.
Yes, please.
Just give yourself 2 pieces of gold. You find random treasures on the way out. Actually, no. As you put the manacles on Lyra, as you pull your hands away, there is something in her hand that is not holding the knife. It is a gemstone slab, remarkably thin, about the size of a sending card. It is etched with strange diagrams that seem to be a pattern, but not any that you recognize. It is worth 1 gold. And then your other 1 gold just comes from something random that you find on the way out. Liana, where do you find this friendship bracelet in a place that tells you that you were meant to find it between here and the Eastern Wall?
I'm thinking it just kind of like maybe just drops out of the sky like this shimmering haze of heat. I'm picturing that this is Priziani. It drops out of this just out of nowhere in front of her, falls to the ground. In her run, she swoops down, picks it up, but there's a note attached to it. And it says, I see potential in you. Come back to Heathertop, and we will give you what you want. Yeah. For now, she's just running.
All right. Fantastic. And so you make it to the Eastern Wall, the gap in the Eastern Wall left by the Siren siege some 10, 15 years ago, however many years ago that was. And on the other side, masked behind some trees and brushes, are 4 fresh horses. I don't even think there's even a cart. You don't need a cart for any of this stuff. Just 4 fresh horses waiting for you, and off into the rest of the night you gallop, riding on towards your safe house and safety. You have a buyer lined up for this phylactery. We need to split that. So what I want you all to do now, first of all, we're definitely going a little bit over. Does anybody have a hard out at about, let's call it 15 minutes after the hour or before then? Awesome.
I'm good.
Okay. Then what I want you all to do is, first of all, do we need a break? Do we need just like a 2-3 minute bio, anything? Okay. Just checking in. If you do, just take it and come back. Go through your found equipment. There should be stuff there that has notes on them worth X amount of gold, usually going to be 1 gold. If you want to sell any of that, delete it, add the appropriate amount of gold to your gold number. You need to meet or exceed your burdens. Let's talk about the phylactery. There are 4 of you. It's worth 10 gold, which means either somebody is getting 2 extra gold or 2 people are getting 1 extra gold. How do we want to do that?
Can we see if people need any extra? If there's any people that
Yes.
need extra?
Yeah,
Yes, let's do that.
I know I'm good now. Wait. That was what did I do? 1, 1. I can math.
So Vaunn is going to deliver the letter and get a gold for that, but
Okay,
is
that's
he
gonna happen
going
off screen.
to find out anything about that?
Nothing mechanical. We can talk about it off screen, and it can either lead to another adventure or something like that. I might give you a quest at some point if you decide to continue playing Vaunn.
Yeah, if he lives.
Well, I mean, you survived the incursion, so you technically lived.
Gotta get to House Tharashk for this. And presumably to detach the phylactery from us.
Right. You know, like they're like, oh, not another one of these. Like,
I love Arrowhead, but I feel like if I keep him,
it's gonna break your heart. Yeah,
he'll die. He'll die, and I'll lose the money. Yeah. You could
give him to a safe home, a happy, safe home.
I think that Vaunn and Arrowhead make a pact, and he's like, look, I'm gonna sell you to this guy, and like 2 days later escape and we'll meet up. And so I'm not saying I want him to be in my found equipment. I'm just saying like, you know, this is just gonna be flavor for later. Like
he'll hang out in your, if you want him
Arrowhead will hang out.
If you want him to be a part of your household, you can do that. Okay. But does that mean you sell him? We'll do a compromise. Rather than have him worth be 2 gold, if you want to just have him narratively in your household, I'll let you part with him and still give you 1 gold. How does that sound?
Okay. Yeah. So I love the idea of the 2 of them like coming up with this secret.
Yeah. And that
plan.
Yeah, and that won't be. And then you can actually, what you can do is you can add him as a memento down in line 92. You can just add Arrowhead down to your mementos, and that'll just kind of mechanically sort of solidify him as a friend that hangs out now in your household.
Won't do anything mechanically. Won't distract anyone from getting away from a gaggle of schoolgirl assassins. He'll just be here for
he'll be there. You can use him in Hearthfire narrations however you want. So
with the reliquary, can I break those 2 things apart, keep the reliquary and sell the silver chain?
Yes, you can sell the silver chain, keep the reliquary on your person. Just add a note that like at worth 0 gold or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and you've got a great note on there already. You know, about what it does. It absorbs 1 ruin. Cool. So everybody's getting at least 2 gold from the, well, I get, maybe that's not a given. Because maybe like Asta needs more gold than everybody else. Maybe people say Asta take 5 gold. I don't know. Has everybody done the stuff they want to do with their found equipment? Have they sold everything they want to sold, added everything they want to add to?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because like Tuvo, you only have 3 gold. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna trust everybody then. So right now, Tuvo needs 2 gold simply to meet his burdens. Asta needs 1 gold to meet her burden. Liana just meets her burdens, and Vaughn's doing great.
Vaunn had a great time. I didn't add the gold from the phylactery at all yet.
Right. That's what we're discussing.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. So we have to discuss that now. We can do a simple, everybody gets 2 gold and 2 people get 1 gold. Or we can make it more complicated. What are y'all's
thoughts? Just keep it
thoughts?
simple and everyone gets 2 gold and say Tuvo gets an extra and Asta gets an extra.
Okay.
Because they're short.
I'll take that.
Okay. As long as everybody's cool. Is anybody not cool with that?
I'm fine. Vaunn would not be fine and probably argues a lot more about it. But I'm fine with that.
Okay.
So Asta and Tuvo are adding 3 from the
Correct.
sale.
Yep.
Okay.
We tell Vaunn that we got 8 gold for the phylactery.
That's the best. Yeah, that'll keep him quiet.
I love that.
He's mad. Then he's mad at the person that you negotiated with. Like,
right. Well, you know what? You guys can go deal with that. But,
Wait, Asta, were you at 3 gold?
I was at 3. So
wait.
So then 6. I can math. So good. So good. All right. Thank you.
So congratulations. You
Yay.
all met your burdens. You all can continue these characters on to more incursions or retire them if you wish. But what I need you all to do now is subtract your burdens from your current gold counter. So Tuvo, you would have 1 gold. Asta, you would have 2. Liana, you would have 1. Vaunn, you'd have 5. Your burdens stay the same. Those live with you forever and only get worse. Liana and Vaunn, you may unmark your armor. If anybody else had marked any equipment, you would be allowed to unmark those. And here is where we would move into downtime and hearthfire. And that's where we would talk about how you reduce your ruin, how you get rid of conditions. But because we are past time, we're not going to do that here. We'll either do that, we'll do that offline. I was thinking maybe we could like get together for like a quick and record something, but I'm not going to hold 4 people's schedules to that. So we'll just do it offline. But so let's go ahead and move into stars and wishes. Stars are things that you liked. Wishes are, I guess, in the scope of this, because this can be, you can bring these characters back. Wishes on a more macro scale. Wishes for your character, wishes for more incursion. And then stars are, things that you liked about the session. So anybody can go as they like.
I have a star for the Gorgon stonemason. It's like I fell in love with him and forgot we were playing, and I just wanted to listen to him talk for the rest of time. If you watch back, you can see me like shaking out of like, oh shit, I was supposed to be paying attention to like I was supposed to be in character. He was amazing. He was great.
You have any wishes?
I want to play Vaunn again, and see how much more trouble I can get him into.
It's always good to want to play a character again.
Yeah, that whole scene with the Gorgon and the and the Lady Ilmaro as he saw her to be was just and I feel bad that we beat her in one round. I think that could have been a great fight.
The fun part about narrative combat is you can always still make it a great fight. The crazy thing is though is like 12 is literally the highest 13 technically is the highest endurance that you can have. It's physically impossible if you don't have a monster's weakness, which reduces the endurance then again. But
I think I rolled a 13.
You can't, because you only get 2d6. It's the highest 2d6. But like you rolled an 11. Like you literally, if you were to encounter like a major demon and fight them, it's endurance 12. And it's like, it's just
my other wish is to play again so that I can get in a really good fight and have like it was really cool to roll that high, but I would like to really get into doing combat with the system because it's so cool. I like it a lot.
I'll link to you guys in the group chat a trophy gold incursion that went like 12 rounds. It's insane, but the players in it are all very top tier. It gets absolutely bonkers. People died in the middle of combat. It's I'll link it to you guys if you want to see how like, and it was an endurance 12 monster too, so that's why it took so long. But I'll link it to you if you want to see how some high level quote unquote combat in this game works.
Would like to give stars for the incursion. I like how it wrapped up. It's nice to take these places on maps and just fill them in with all the details that just become ours. And painting the scene was very fun. Stars for making this character that I want to be an asshole continue to have feelings. Because I want him to just be cut and run and don't care about anybody. And he's like, but wait, I care. So he keeps getting Grinched, and I love it. The stone Ilmaro was fantastic. That is just so iconic, and just getting to see that from the tragic Gorgon artist come to life. And then we just decimated it. Wishes, if this continues, that, getting Lyra out or encountering her again is a side quest in an incursion.
The thing is, the rest of the party is going to be so pissed at her.
Yep.
Like,
if Tuvo ever tells us what she did.
That's true. That's true.
He could make up a different story about
out.
why, she sacrificed herself and told me to leave her behind and held off the other people.
Oh my, so
I mean, like, somebody's got to take credit for that because he can't give it to Arrowhead.
Yeah. But Liana wouldn't believe it at all.
Oh.
No, she probably wouldn't.
Oh.
Yeah, but Asta's been like following them, watching them this whole time. Would she believe that bubbly little Lyra would stab Tuvo?
Asta shifts it.
The thing is, though, like, last session when she's like, rescue me, Asta's like, oh, never mind.
Oh, okay.
Done with her. Like, she's cute. She's not like very useful, is she?
The flame has gone out.
But I mean, like they can do what they want to do. But that's how you end up like planning weddings with people.
Oh yeah, and like we said, Asta is totally not down with.
Asta is anti-weddings.
There's some Hearthfire prompts that I think would be absolutely amazing. I really hope we get to see some of those somehow, some way. My wish is that still somehow Hearthfire happens between now and the next incursion for Trophy Gold for Eberron that I choose to run. Maybe it probably won't be recorded, but again, either we'll do it either in chat, or maybe I'll even just start like a Discord server. It's like Trophy Gold for Eberron. Here's where we like keep track of all the ongoing stories.
Yeah.
Stars. I really love the door ritual. The sparking wand. We got total mad artificer Cannith excoriate, and I said I love this character in session 1, and seeing the door ritual I think was like one of the wishes that we had back then, and so I'm super glad that we actually got to see that come to life. And AJ, I thought you did it magnificently. Yeah, it totally worked. It's fantastic. And I love this character. Sort of a wish, kind of just an observation, in that like Prisyavi's House Tharashk, and Liana is an excoriate of Cannith. There's house politic involved in there somewhere. I don't know where or how exactly, but that's just an interesting thing living in the back of my mind if that story continues. I really just love like how the Heathertop house became this big giant thing, because it's totally optional content. And we went from Devil's Bargain saying that, oh wow, they're assassins, and then it went full Black Widow. Yeah, you all wished, I double checked, like 3 of you all wished for Lyra to stab somebody last session. So I
think I did. I was still completely blown away. So I didn't think she'd stab Tuvo.
It was like that timing though, that moment, that was like, it was so perfect.
And like your voice got really quiet, and I was like, holy shit, what's gonna happen? And it was like I was on the edge of my seat, and it just was like, it was so good.
3 roses in a vase, one of them in yellow. So good.
Screaming forever.
I needed a good activation phrase. That's one of my I wish now that we've made this story, I want to see it go someplace. The Heathertop house, I personally think they're in every major estate across at least Karnath. is going to have some kind of Heathertop trained representative, so they could show up whenever, as long as you're like dealing with a lot of incursions deal with like the wilderness, so they might not come up that much, but they always could, you know. But my wish is, of course, that, you know, we see more of Lyra or just other Heathertop students or Heathertop graduates. I have a wish here. I've run 2 incursions with Tuvo now, and I don't think he's a demonologist, and we have not done jack diddly with demons yet. So I hope, my wish is that next time we see some demony things, we see some demon stuff come out.
Or demons.
Although that
Tuvo
said,
just turns into a demon.
Yeah, there you go. But I do like that, you know, I have a lot of trouble with like the true cynicism of like old school adventuring, the smash and grab mentality. I like characters to have feelings and exploit them. Clearly. Yeah. Stars to folks who tried out Trophy for the first time. Stars to folks who've come back and decided they want to throw themselves at this again. What else? Yeah, I think I have so many thoughts. I'm gonna like vomit all over the Discord group chat about things that I loved about the session, but for whatever reason, it's all just mind soup right now. Is that everybody? Did we do everybody's stars and wishes?
I
think so. So, anybody else have any last lingering thoughts?
This was really, really fun. Thank you so much for facilitating.
Yep. This was really fun. This is some of the most fun Eberron I've ever run. And there are other Trophy Gold incursions out there. There are ways to hack other OSR modules to Trophy. So like the dream is to have an OSR module that's not written for Eberron, mechanically hack it to Trophy, narratively hack it to Eberron, and then like the world just becomes my oyster. There's so many cool OSR modules out there that like, yeah, hack to Eberron, mechanically hack to Trophy, and run them as narrative games. That's the dream. That's what I'm hoping to do, and I would love to run more stuff, more Trophy Gold for Eberron. So
I want to run too. I want to run it.
There you go. Trophy Gold. It's on Drive Through RPG. There's Trophy Gold, Trophy Dark, and Trophy Loom. Yeah, you can pick it up there. Eberron, of course, is written by Keith Baker. You can find those books wherever Wizard of the Coast is selling Eberron stuff these days. But any other thoughts? Okay, well, this has been Trophy Gold for Eberron, the Escape from Atur. I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to everybody watching the recording. Bye, everybody watching the recording.
Bye.